Covering Pierce County, the city of Tacoma says after nearly 3 years of a controversial camping ban, they anticipate losing a significant portion of homeless shelter beds soon. That's even after the city says hundreds have been placed into shelters since the ban took place. This comes down to a lack of funding. Komo's Karina Vargas joins us live tonight with more on this. Karina?
Yeah, Molly, we spoke with one shelter who tells us that they're being impacted by the lack of shelter beds and tell us that they're having to close their doors. Now, the city of Tacoma said that it spent more than $4.5 million on cleanup efforts to remove 9 million pounds of debris and completed over 830 sweeps of encampments. Since the start of the camping ban in the fall of 2022, they've placed over 750 people into shelters. But now the amount of shelter beds available has dropped 22%, with only 860 beds available. The city says that they asked for $6 million in state funding, but will only receive $3 million. Freedom Project, which are tiny homes in Tacoma run by Brotherhood Rise, is one of the shelters having to close down because there's just not enough funding. Those with the center say that it's going to be tough for those who rely on their services.
Even though that camping ban is out, we're able to get people who get caught up in that camping ban gets pushed out. They come here because we feed and clothing. So it impacts them because there are a lot of folks that we can get into the tiny homes and being, as we call it, the Freedom Project, being able to get them in and get them stable.
Now, the city has reported that there has been a decrease in unhoused people in those areas where there is the camping ban, but add that they've seen a spike in calls from areas where the ordinance doesn't apply. The city adds that their HEAL team goes out and talks with people living in encampments and offer them options for shelter to get them off the street. But those with Brotherhood Rise say that there needs to be more investments and more funding for long-term shelters, as well as housing options instead of having to shut them down. They tell me that their tiny homes will end up closing by the end of July. But for now, reporting live in Tacoma, Karina Vargas, Komo News.
All right, thanks, Karina. And a setback for transgender rights. Today, the U.S. Supreme Court upheld a Tennessee state law that bans gender-based medical services for transgender youth. In a 6-3 opinion, the conservative majority ruled the law doesn't violate the Equal Protection Clause of the Constitution. Tennessee is one of 24 states with laws that ban all gender-based medical services for minors, including